Okay, so this is Pomp and Circumstance, number 157 on page 35. And this is for the violin A part, which is the first line. And this is the melody. So everyone else is kind of playing this very march type rhythm underneath us. So you kind of have this nice steady beat going underneath you, but the melody is very legato and pretty. So let's look at the first two measures of this melody. There are no sharps, so we have low twos for F's and C's. So the C natural is going to be right next to your first finger, and the beginning sounds like this. 1, 2. So we start on that C, low 2. You have C, then you have B, C, D, then open A, and then over to the G. So let's try that together. 1, 2, ready, play. C, then 1, 2, 3, A, then G. Good. Then the next two measures, we have an F natural, so the low 2 there. So you have F, then you have E, F, G, and then we end on an open D for 3 beats, and then you lift, and then we would go on. All right, so let's put those first 4 measures together from the beginning. 1, 2, ready, and C, then B, C, D, A, then G, then F, then E, F, G, D, 2, 3, lift. All right, so not bad there. So the next part here is a little bit tricky. We have a little rhythm that's syncopated, which if you look at the end of that, last measure, you have 8th, quarter, 8th, which means the 8th note is quick and the quarter note's going to be kind of long. So that measure sounds like this. You have a half note to start, E, then you have, so it's long, then quick, long, quick, long. And if you look in this bar, we have an F sharp. So we have a high 2 for this bar. All right, so let's see if we can do that last measure of the first line. Here we go. Let's go on to the first note of the next line also. So what we're going to play is E, then F sharp, G, A, D. So we'll go to that 3rd finger on the A string. Let's try that. Last measure of the first line. 1, 2, ready, and E. Then you have 2, 3. That's it. Good. All right. So now let's start on that first measure of the second line. You were just on that 3rd finger on the A string. So you have D, then you have a G. Now the first ending is a similar type of rhythm that we had at the end of the first line. You have C natural, so low 2, C, C, B, A, G, 2, 3, lift. All right. Let's see if we can put all of that together from the beginning. We're going to do the beginning up to the end of the first ending. And if you look at the little marking that you have underneath, it says MP-F. That means that the first time we play this, we will be mezzo piano, which is pretty quiet. And when we do the repeat, then we'll be loud. So for now, we're just doing it all quiet because we're just going up to the end of the first ending. So very quiet. Keep your notes nice and smooth because everyone else is very, very short. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and C, B, C, D, then A, then G. Now F natural, F, E, F, G, 2, 3. Now we lift. Now it's an E. E. Now quick, long, long. Now low 2 for the C natural. Now we lift, and now we would be really loud. Okay, so the second time is going to be super loud. Let's look at our second ending now, because when we do the repeat and we're loud, we have to make sure that we jump over to the second ending. And that very first note on the second ending is tough because we're coming from a G. We're coming from a 3rd finger on the D string. but the first note of the second ending is a low 1 on the E string. It's an F natural. So you really have to be ready for that note. It's F, F, E, 3. Please use your fourth finger for that last note. So it's 1, 1, 0, then 3, 4, 2, 3, then lift. All right, so let's do that second ending right on the low 1. 1, 2, ready, and F natural, 3, 4, 2, 3, then lift. So the next line, after the lift, we have an open A. So you have A, then B, C, D, G. So it's always tough going from a D to a G because it's the same finger. So you have A, B, C, D, G. So it's almost like you really have to be ready for that G. All right, so after that G, then we go to a C natural. So it's a low 2. Then we play the low 2 again. 1, 2, 3, lift. And after we do this lift, again, we're going to have the same problem that we had with the second ending, except it's not quite as big of a jump because you're coming from the A string, but it is a low 1 on your E string. F natural on your E string is a low 1. So after this lift, it's a low 1, 1, 0 for the E. Then you have D, C. And this last part here is a third finger on your G string, and the rhythm is down, up, up, down. 2, 3, 4. Keep holding. Because there's a fermata, you have to hold it longer than 4 beats. So this, from the second ending to the end, is a little bit tricky. Let's see if we can start right on the second ending. Remember, when we get over to the E string, that 1 is a low 1. You have to pull your 1 all the way back. F natural is a low 1 on the E string. So let's start right on the second ending. 1, 2, ready, and F, F, E, 2, 3, then lift. Now A, B, C, D, G, then C natural. 1, 2, 3, lift. Now low 1. Now over to the C. Down, up, up, down. 2, 3, 4, hold it, and be done. All right, let's see if we can put that whole thing together from the beginning. Remember, the beginning the first time is soft. When we do the repeat, then we're going to be forte. And don't forget to jump over to the second ending after. And remember those low 1s after the second ending. Those low 1s on the E string are tough to remember, the F naturals. So let's start at the beginning, kind of quiet. I mean, we have the melody, so it doesn't have to be super quiet, but let's make sure it's pretty quiet. 1, 2, ready, beginning. So hopefully you got all that. Keep practicing, and we'll just try to put all the parts together at some point. All right, good to see you guys. Talk to you again soon.